All right, well, on to two people that will definitely just give your brain an aneurysm watching their APM and their camera movements. It's time for more AoE4 action, this time between Beastie and Crackedy. I had to check on this one. Beastie, filthy Ibid picker he will be. On the other side, though, not so filthy these days, actually, because it's underwhelming. There's usually coming out. When I saw this in the match history for Crackedy, I was already intrigued. Ibids are one of the best performing civs right now, by far. They are looking insane, actually. If you look at tournament play alone, some of the players are making them look borderline broken. Actually, not even borderline. They are so far across the border, they are in Mexico City. Marine Lord, for example, in the Elite Classic 2, has 7 wins in a row with the Ibids, no losses whatsoever, right? BC, I think, is also unbeaten on them in the tournament, like 3 picks so far. So this civ is looking dominant. And the transitions we've been seeing, even after the nerfs, has somehow made them even more broken, not less. On the other side, there's usually have been absolutely kneecap crippled by the nerfs. No one wants to touch this civ anymore. It's kind of wild as well, right? Because they had that nerf to the Song Dynasty, taking it down to, what was it? It was from 40 to 30%, right? Then they had the Meditation Garden nerfs, which were definitely warranted. And then the other kind of crazy thing is after all that, they then got that nerf to the production speed on docks for water hybrid maps, which was, it felt unnecessary because like that was more the Chinese issue. But the funny part is like, even with that change, usually their relevance right now is actually on water hybrid maps. There is no water here. We're going to be on cliffside of all maps. A map that puts you very close to the enemy base. And that's where actually Chuge Nu spam can win games. I'm wondering if that's what we're going to see here. Right? Like, I've seen this build before. Actually, we've watched Beastie playing the Ibids get slaughtered by this build that I'm talking about before. The all-in Chuge Nu spam on such a short map is really strong. I think if Cliffside was actually being picked more in competitive right now, we'd probably see more Zhuji. Because their Chuge Nu spamming is actually better than the Chinese. And if you're not up against a civ like the Chinese or the Rus, there's no defensive landmark to block you out on a rush. Crackedy, dude, no. So I meant rush after the age up. Not. Wait, what? Wait, what? Crackedy. Barbican's on the left, right? Did Crackedy misclick his civ? Oh, what? Okay, so hear me out. Let me explain why this is not just a stupid misclick. This Yangnan Tower is going to spawn out the units here very quickly, so his ramp timing is going to be insane. This is still hilarious to look at, though, because legitimately to anyone who just, like, clocked in and took a quick ganders, it looks like he accidentally selected the wrong Chinese, doesn't it? Right? Like, this is a perfect, typical Crackedy Barbican rush. The crazy thing is that Beastie isn't looking for it, because who the hell Jiangnan Tower rushes you? Oh, my God. And thank you for the sub, Fat Blob. Appreciate you. Oh, my God, dude. So, we're looking at Chuge Nu still, I think. This has to be Archie Rangers. This makes less sense with Stables, because Stables, like, the units can run really quickly. This is Archie range spam. He's going to look to GG the game straight away. And, oh my God, dude, it's Reinforcement Wing. Now, the other gold is accessible to the north side, but that's still kind of viewable, right? Like, I actually think Crackedy has a really good shot at winning this game. Oh my God, tech up complete. Now, that was a slow tech up. That should make him suspicious. When Beastie runs in here and sees no Meditation Garden, this is the problem, right? Like any other civ, you check the landmark position near the TC. With the Meditation Garden, because of how delayed that was, it could be really far at the back, like here. So he's not going to know it until the first Chuge Nu comes out. But hold on a second. Wait, what? He built the archery range at home. This shocks me a little, actually. I'm surprised by this. It does, however, get him the timing to follow up with the outpost now. However, his opponent can now just build a ram with that Desert Raider, right? And I think that's exactly what he's playing into. He understands what this is, right? The only reason that there's immediately going to be a Chuge Nu here is if Crackedy is trying to cheese all in you. Yeah, I don't like this detail, though. I think maybe the build would work better for Crackedy if he pulled 2 villages to get the Jiangnan quicker, get the outpost up, and then just build arch range out there. He might have felt like he didn't have enough economy to float that boat, though. when I look at these numbers, I'd argue differently. I think he would have been fine for it. I imagine that this has not been refined much. This is probably one of the early day attempts of this build by Crackedy. I just love, actually, it's kind of crazy. Today, we've cast 2 GG games, and both of them have had some very interesting creative alternates coming out. Love to see it, because, honestly, this Civ for a while was just getting redundant and boring. But this is so incredible to watch. Stable drop now on the forward. So 3 Horsemen's going to come out. Remember, that is basically 120 resource tax rebate, 150 resource structure, and an aggressive unit. Unfortunately, it looks like the walls have gone up, and Crackedy didn't realize it. That's actually quite sad. If he'd realized it here and camped this location and got through early with the Chiganu, he could have blocked out all food source, right? And forced him onto the sheep, which is the worst gathering rate. Oh my god, I can't believe the opening of this game. Desert Raider now just sniping the villager. Almost gets the kill, but able to move away quick enough. Yeah, Crackedy, kind of interesting. He's trying to just get this home, right? So what's the play now? Is he just trying to fake this into Castle Age? Because when I see this, when I see someone walking away like that, that's my first instinct. And I'm wondering if Beastie's having a similar feeling here. He'll still have to address this outpost on his gold vein to get to his Castle Age, but the problem with what Crackedy's done here, I don't like that he's backing away. To me, the way you now win this matchup from this position is you keep going. The mistake you make by backing away now is that what you're doing is you're allowing the IBID player to get up to tier 2 of the Golden Age when they tech up. That makes the situation worse for you, not better. On top of that, when he does tech up, it's still a growth wing to eco-escalate him. Like, the best thing you can actually do in this game for your Crackedy, I think, is to keep Beastie locked into this age. But instead, looks like Beastie is going to get the breathing room he needs. Crackedy, instead, of course, is going to start targeting that castle, I think. Yeah, he's got 4 people on the gold here. Still a lot of wood gathering, so he's going to add in a few Chiganu. Actually, he's going for the ram, so maybe we're not getting that castle age play. Weird that he pulled the villager away. Weird that he didn't build the archer range up here, though. I guess he wanted the flexibility. Like, Crackedy's mindset was probably he needed the archer range built quicker, which it would have got built quicker at home. And on top of that, he wanted the safety of, if this failed, if this got countered immediately, he'd have a backup production at home. I don't think you look for backup in this situation, though. Like, this is the all-in. It has to be the all-in. So, yeah, might be worth tuning that in the future of Crackedy. One of the awkward things about these type of proxy rushes for the Chinese and Juji is because your Imperial officials spawn at home, you don't really have the supervision out there. So, like, if you brought, say, 6 villagers out to build this and then gather wood, you wouldn't have supervision on your wood like you do at home. Gold's being stuck on the north side. I think Crackedy needed to constrict the map more here. The problem is right now he's outnumbered, right? So he's just going to go for the all-in on the House of Wisdom. Dives into the base. Trying to unlock that wood. Beastie almost has enough to repel this, though. He's going to need a ram to clear up the outpost afterwards, but realistically, Crackedy's army is not scary. I don't like how much food he's floating in reserve. People asking the Jiangnan Tower, yes, it acts as a drop-off location, so you can drop off here. That's not the issue I'm highlighting, though, Fat Pop. The issue with this idea of pulling 6 villagers to build this and going in the wood, you don't have an Imperial official out here to supervise, right? You're not going to walk him from all the way home. They're pretty slow buggers. And walking a village is one thing, walking 6 villages is another, walking a taxman as well all this distance. Now very, very big out of time, very big waste. And hello, Eisman. Thank you for the raid, my friend. You're just in time to see Crackedy accidentally click on the wrong Chinese. House of Wisdom. Not dying fast here, man. Like, I think the issue for Crackedy is that he doesn't want to rush this because the Rams, if he builds 3 Rams here, he knows that IBIDs are investing in military right now. This is pretty scary for him, right? Also, another issue, because he needs to set up the outpost, he has to now hold back Chuginu to defend. Like what's happening here with the Desert Raider. That's well played by Beastie. It's making the front force a bit weaker. Repairs now coming through. Now, believe it or not, guys, this costs a grand total of no wood. I'm still not sure how I feel about that element. Okay, I'm going to say something, maybe it's controversial. I think that the House of Wisdom, if it's being repaired from dead, should cost nothing to repair. I think if it's being actively repaired, maybe it should have some sort of reduced wood cost. Because I've seen this a few times where the ram play, like, the all-in just can't work because of the cheesy repairing. The counter-argument as to why it is this way is, of course, like, for the Irobids, they need this building active to even get their tech ups, right? And compared to other civs that get some big values out of the landmarks themselves, such as defensive landmarks and building units out of them, Irobids and Bastards don't really get that, right? But it does feel really annoying if you're Crackedy here, that your opponent has just saved himself so easily. He could just start teching up, right? Like, if he want, he could come in, repair, go, tech up, come in, repair, and just keep that going until his castle age. So, like, Crackedy, this has to be feeling quite frustrating right now. He has to find a go point in, like, the next 2 to 3 minutes. I do want to nerf a Bastards. I think them getting picked 2% of the time in tournament play is too much. They need to be nerfed so they can be buffed, guys. Villagers now shifting out into food. The problem with Crackedy's play here is not just the fact that he can keep repairing this indefinitely to counter it. It's the fact that you're now not blocking Beastie from actually getting an army together, right? Like, he's getting all these resources elsewhere. Second ram's now coming in. Beastie's setting his own ram. Horseman? Okay, that's a freebie. Crackedy not looking. Hand cancel, it's activated. Spearmen are going to chase this away. Still, villagers come out. Free room to repair to keep it alive. Beastie, I don't think he's going to get out of a fuel age here. So remember what we said. This is how we want Crackedy to play this. I like that he's doing this now. I don't think you can just back off at any point. You can't go castle. This is all in. The longer this goes, the better it gets, right? The more Chuganu you have. But I think one big mistake here, way too many spearmen coming out from Crackedy. 15 spears, only 14 Chuganu. He freaked out. He thought this was going to be mass horsemen. And mass archers is the way to go. Rams, in the meantime, just trying to finish this off. Not going to be able to do so. Horsemen are going to start down both of them. So 400 wood lost there. Archer's now diving in. Needs to be careful about his positioning on this. Ram, in the meantime, is going to break out to deal with the outpost now. Beastie looking like he's starting to stabilize here. The House of Wisdom is still heavily injured. That's still idle time to repair. But the timing for Crackedy is kind of passing here, right? The Chuganu spam is not hitting. He's only got 13 of them. He's even actually queuing up Palace Guard, whether intentional or by mistake. And now he has to go back and burn more wood on additional rams. I genuinely think Crackedy will be reviewing this game and thinking that there is something to it. Because I actually think that this build works. Like, seeing this, I nod my head. I'm like, this is actually really good against Irobids. The problem really was the amount of spears he added in. And it's because he didn't scout. Like, one thing that's disappointing me here is Crackedy, he's had all this agency to scout beyond. He never scouted the extra gold or the berries being gathered. He never scouted to see what the opponent's army comp was going to be here, right? Like, he just saw that there was a stables, and it feels like he kind of overreacted from there. Now the game's starting to slip away from him, right? Archer count is still looking cozy. Beastie is starting to stockpile resources a little, so he might be thinking about threading the needle. Quite dangerous, but considering that Crackedy has failed twice now to break in, it might be the time. Ram now shifting in, trying to deal with that outpost again. Okay, these horsemen, dude, this is getting absurd. Ram's going to back off, barely alive. So 3 horsemen going down for that, right? To almost kill it. Not too bad. Now the dive comes in. Archer count 22. Only 10 Chuganu. Where are the rest? Oh my god, he kept them back to defend. Okay, no, dude, this is looking like it's made and broken. I don't see a way now. Outpost. Oh my god, is it? Okay, outpost is on fire. It will eventually go down unless you pull villages. The ram is going to fail. This is looking pretty over. Oh, dude. It was so close as well. I love how now we've just got an overkill repair because BC's like, I've started the tech up, brother. I must protect it. Just in case Crackedy has 15 rams coming over the hill. Yeah, I think that was the issue for Crackedy. Is like, man, imagine if he instead came in with like 4 rams at once. Maybe that could work. Once again, though, the spin was the biggest issue. Some walls might have been nice here, but this is the power of the Desert Raider, right? This is why the Desert Raider is just so bloody absurd, is it forces reactions out your opponent. This one guy here, and his ancestor before him, have basically been the difference maker in this game. These Desert Raiders forced Crackedy to keep troops away from the front line. It's screwed with his timing. It's what makes the Irobids so absurd, is the instant access to these units, or the instant inflation of your economy by 15%. And right now, like, this is the most dominant build. Military wing reinforcement into growth wing. You're seeing this in practically every competitive tournament game right now. Because unless you force them off their timing in a weird way, this is the optimal route. It denies something from you and then gets something bigger for the Iabids on a delay. Oh man, he's literally saved up enough resource to tech up twice if Castlage could do that. Meanwhile, other side of it, Crackedy is just kind of losing everything. I think the game has fallen apart for him. We're going to hit the 2 times now. Crackedy, once that tech up comes out, I feel like he's just going to deflate. He's going mass pass guard now, try and break this, but I'm fast losing faith. Archers just start stepping away. Okay, guys, this is why no one builds Palace Guard in Feudal Age. Oh, they're barely tickling, man. And the tech up's complete. And this is the thing about this build. When you force a longer feud off the Iabids, it doesn't weaken them unless you can keep them there. Because now he has the tier 2. He's got the faster research speed. Archer upgrade now coming through in 30 seconds. Crackedy, this spam of Palace Guard is not going to last long either, right? He's exhausting the deer ASAP. Berries is what he's got left after that, and he doesn't want to hang around for that. GG comes in. The discount Barbican... No, I'm not even going to call it... the misclick Barbican Rush is not going to work out for this UG.